Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, your girl, the one and only Tiffany E, aka Sexline TV2, and I am here to give you guys all of the tea when it comes to wrestling and maybe a little bit of odds and ends in between there. So why don't you go ahead, go get your snacks, go get your juice, go get you a good drink, a good glass of wine if you can drink it. If you're underage, don't be drinking, okay? Go on and get you some juice or something and sit back and listen as we kiki and holler about wrestling. Because over here, you get a plethora of things when it comes to my show, okay? You get wrestling commentary.
No benefit of the doubt. Dr. Phil say don't do that. Dr. Phil say when somebody show you who they are, and so did Maya Angelou, believe them. Them two hoes are snakes. They've been snakes, and them hoes was like that when you got there, and they like that now, so fuck them both. And they did the right thing by letting them headline WrestleMania. They most definitely deserve to headline WrestleMania, and that is how you close a Mania.
What else will you get? You'll also get a weekly recap of every single show that WWE has to offer. Monday Night Raw after show, NXT after show, and of course a Friday Night SmackDown after show. You'll also get a recap of all the Big 5 PLEs. I even do the Saudi shows for you. And then, if it's good and worth the time, I may even throw a little AEW in there. But of course, I will do my best to make sure I recap as many PLEs as possible. If I don't have it, then I'll throw it to one of my friends who do know it. We also cover pop culture, and we have really good time over here with lifestyle and just giving advice. So, if you're ready, it's showtime, and that is on the ancestors, baby. That was eventful. Did she die?
I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know.
Will you be all right? All right, y'all. So, let's get into NXT because I am tired, and more specifically, I was disappointed with NXT today. Not in the show itself, but in the final moments of the show, I was disappointed. Um, that's so fucking annoying. All right, y'all. So top commenters of the day goes to Brandy, Kayla, and Tay. They were the top 3 guys and girls in the in the live today. So thank y'all for coming in early and being on time. Appreciate that. You guys know that I love you for that. If you want to be a top commenter of the day, all you have to do, ladies and gentlemen, is come on in, okay, and be on time, early, if I might say myself.
and you will definitely be able to get a top commenter of the day. Oh, Jose Ramirez was in the All-Star game. Okay. So, any whoosies. Not they got a homecoming celebration for Tony. That's funny. Hold on, y'all. Hold tight. Chill's gone. Hold on, y'all. Just hold tight. I want to make sure I have all the stuff. She's okay? Sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to make sure I get all the stuff and I can show y'all what I need to show y'all. So, I liked NXT when it started out. The show was pretty decent today. But going towards the end of the show is where I had my issues. So I'm going to start from the beginning and we'll talk about that and then we'll get to the other stuff. Okay, we'll get to the other stuff. Damn, Nolan Dar down in the dumps. He out here drinking this shit. What the fuck?
Him sad.
So hold tight, y'all. It's coming. It is coming. I promise you that. And I have a few things to say about the final match of the night. It just, you know, it was the fucking booking for me, and it just pissed me off. And I was so angry because I was just like, y'all could have did anything. You could have did fucking anything but this bullshit here. But let's just get into it. Okay, so the first match of the night for NXT, Judgment Day kicked off the show. Carmelo came out there. They had their little tit for tat, and a tag team match was made. It was Trick and Mello versus Damian Priest and Finn Balor. After that, we had a match with Chase U going up against Gulak and Dempsey. Dempsey and Gulak ended up losing this match, but it was because of their own bullshit. Like Gulak tried to get stop Thea from cheering, and Thea put the lock on Drew Gulak and had him basically locked up outside of the ring while everybody else was in the ring fighting. I will say this, I like the pacing of this match. I thought this match was fun throughout the show. I mean, for the match that they had, Duke Hudson looked phenomenal in this match. They gave Andre Chase a good showing in this match as well. Even though each person had their moment, this match had good pacing, it was good timing, and it was just fun to watch. But I was glad that Chase U ended up picking up the win on this one because Gulak and Dempsey have been tied up with Chase U for a while. And while it was interesting for the time being, I do think it's time for them to move on to something else, like maybe into the tag team arena. And we're going to get into that tag team arena in just a second. But there was a couple other matches that happened tonight that hold on a sec. Want to make sure I get the pictures so I can show you guys what I mean, because I didn't have those, but they ended up releasing more pictures of what was going to be going down tonight. So, you know. Anyways, so let's move on to the girls, okay? Because there was only one women's match on the entire show that I can recall. No, it was two. I'm sorry. There was Kaylani and Cora Jade, and then there was um, Ivy Nile and Tiffany Stratton. So let's just get Kalani and Cora Jade out the way. I liked Kaylani in this match. I thought she looked really, really good. She had some nice transitions in between their running of the ropes. She looked good. She was out there doing a damn thing. Cora, to not go on a whole tangent about Cora and to just keep it all the way 100. Cora bores me in the ring. There's not really much that she does that's exciting to watch. Even if Cora was a more technical style wrestler, like maybe like a Natalia, or maybe if she had the skill of even Ivy Nile, just more of a technical based background for Cora, I think that would benefit her more. Cora's issue with me is that there's nothing else she brings to the table other than being a mean girl in the ring, and quite frankly it's just not entertaining enough for me. It's the lack of wrestling with her that I am not okay with. And that's I'm not saying everybody has to be a ground and pound wrestler. Don't take it that way. There's always room for variety when it comes to wrestling. But my thing is this: when you're in the ring and you have a girl like Kalani who is on the gymnast side of this type of wrestling, Cora's got to find a way to be able to outshine or at least match her energy. And she didn't. She did not do that in this match with her. I was more excited for Kalani than I was for her. And I was just like, you know what? You're the vet in this situation. And you got outworked and outshined in your match. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. It wasn't even the fancy transitions and counters that Kalani was doing. It was just her base wrestling skills. She outworked that girl, she outshined her, and that's just bottom line. And I'm like, this is what I be talking about. I'm not even trying to be mean or to cut a joke and be funny this time. I'm being dead ass serious. I need her to do something else. Find another way to get yourself over, because you talking on the microphone ain't it. And on top of that, you are not performing at the caliber of your opponents, let alone at the top of your game. It just ain't it. It just ain't it. DW always has a drink except for when he's happy. Oh, wow. Anyway, speaking of drinks, I'm gonna make me one. Well, go ahead, live your best life. She just doesn't have the style. She doesn't have the skill. She doesn't have the gall. She doesn't have the gumption. She doesn't have the merit. She doesn't have what it takes to be America's Next Top Model. If that was the case, I mean, I feel like Cora could do that in her sleep, but that's not where she is. And she must have something, because WWE hired her and they want her to be there. But it just seems like people who are coming in after her are surpassing her in more ways than one. And Kalani is one of them. I would feel, and I know that they were supposed to make Kalani look good, which Cora was able to do, but she didn't have to do a lot of work to do that. On the other hand, Kalani just was the better woman in this match, and Cora just wasn't giving anything to it other than her being unbothered in the match. It's just like, girl, that don't lend no credence to what you be talking about. Then she tried to attack Kalani at the end of the match, to which Dana was able to save her and get the save for Kalani and help her out. I'm just She's just not my cup of tea, and that's just where we gonna leave it. Um Also, when Kalani cut her promo, didn't she sound like LJ from My Rise? I didn't think about it. I mean, she kind of. Is that a good thing? I don't know what you're asking. Is that a good thing too? Are you referring to Rico's comment, or are you asking me if it's a good thing about, because I'm confused. Also, I made a fruity little drinky drink because we ain't got no whiskey. All them white boys in your house, I'm not surprised that you ain't got no whiskey. Anyways, but during Drew Gulak and Chase U and Dempsey's match, we got a little glimpse of Lucian and Bronco. Okay. Now, Bronco and Lucian, they look like what I grew up around, the typical D boys or the dudes who was like real fit and they just got out of jail. You know what I'm talking about, Jared. The ones that would be outside with the weight bench and the weights, out there pumping the iron, because that's what they used to do in the block, on the cell block. That's what they used to do. So that's what they do when they come home, and then they maintain the block, but they be big as shit. Like Lucian and Bronco are some big dudes. Like them is some big ass dudes. And we not even talking about just like height wise. Like we talking weight, muscle mass. Those are some big dudes. But they definitely remind me of the way the D boys used to be and the almost reformed homeboys that used to come home from the block, and they would go on the block and they would sit outside in front of their house and they would work out. They would be literally sitting out there. It'd be hot as fuck outside. And I would just sit outside and I would watch them work out because they wouldn't have no shirt on. It was good days. Anyways, they had their eyes close on this match. They also had their eyes close on this match. So Joe Coffey, a couple weeks back, made it look like Stacks had turned on Tony D and left him in prison. And we all kind of fell for it. But last week, it was made very clear that there was something else going on here. And Joe Coffey thought he had everything under control, but he really didn't. Stacks had no intention of leaving Tony D in that prison. In fact, this was the plan all along. The last time we saw Tony D and Stacks, when Tony D told Stacks, figure it out, you're the underboss, you got to figure it out. Tony D came up with a plan, but obviously we didn't know the logistics of it. All we knew is that Tony needed to get out and Stacks had to be the one to do it. Now, we all knew Gallus was the one who ratted out Tony D, but more specifically, it was Joe Coffey who did it. Now, Stacks hatched a plan. Kidnap Joe Coffey and make Joe Coffey think that I am going to turn on Tony D. The I can do that is I got to make sure he knows that I'm serious about turning on him, go to the prison with him, make it all look real so Tony will react correctly. And then once the match happens, I'll turn on Joe Coffey and make sure he gets taken out. And that's exactly what he did. He made good on his promise to get Tony D out of jail. So much so, okay, so much so, even during the match, they had Tony on the phone playing throughout the studio in the PC. That shit was funny, not gonna lie. But so much so, Tony D'Angelo is having a homecoming ceremony next week on NXT. And of course, Stacks, the underboss, is there. Now, he played his role all the way through with this. He came down there dressed like Tony D with his hat and his sweatsuit on. He had it all worked out. But of course, he made sure to let him know that this was not going to go the way that Joe Coffey thought it was. In the ring, Joe Coffey screaming, we had a deal. We had a deal. And Stacks was like, we never had a deal. I would never turn on Tony. And that's when the match changed. Now, Tony Stacks had another plan because in the match, he knew Gallus was going to get involved, so he had to get rid of him. And that's what he did. He took the crowbar, hit Joe Coffey in the gut with it, and then pretended like he got hit when Homeboy got in the ring. That made the ref throw him out because he had a crowbar and Stacks acted like he got a hit. This also made Gallus be down to one member who was in the ring, and it was finally 1-on-1. Now, prior to that, like I told you, Lucian and Bronco had been watching all the tag teams. So they was watching Chase U and Drew Gulak and Dempsey earlier, and they came out there to take up Gallus head on. And they made it very clear that we are not waiting around for opportunities in any way, shape, or form. If anything come about, y'all gonna get got. They was right there, right behind them. So that was a slight little distraction. But they did make their debut on Monday Night Raw, and it was at the expense of Gallus. Okay? Now, during the show, we got a couple of things. Okay? So Gigi Dolan finally let us know why she accused Kiana James of being a fraud. Hold on, child. Let me get some of these answers in here. Let me see. Said I was referring to the LJ comment. Got grapefruit vodka mixed with Welch's mango juice and OJ. Grapefruit, Welch's mango, and orange juice. There's a lot. He do got a lot of white boys in his house. He do. Tippy said they straight out of the slammer, baby. Baby. It ain't nothing wrong with a little thug adjacent. You gotta be thug adjacent though. You know what I'm saying? Stack looked weird on number 5 as he should. He definitely did. Joe Coffey always looked like he just smoked crack before he came out there. Anyways, a fraud broad. A fraud, you say? I've been calling her a fraudulent bitch for a while, but y'all told me I was a hating asshole. But whatever. You know, I just calls them like I sees them, okay? I gotta admit, Stacks got me in the end. He got all of us. Not gonna lie. Now, Gigi went on ahead and busted Kiana James' old fake ass. She been walking around there with her fake ass designer suits and her fake ass platform shoes and that limp ass, tied ass hair and them headbands and preppy schoolgirl looks. And obviously it's where you come from. It's your background. That's why you're the way you are, because you're a loser and you come from the gutter. So come to find out, bitch, your ass come from the streets too. But you trying to hide it to pretend like you not from there, like you ain't got all of that. Like you didn't come up hard either. Gigi went and did a little research and busted your ass. Cool. You won't cover me in all this paint and disrespect me. But bitch, and then had the nerve to be talking about me, calling me all types of names and disrespecting my past. But bitch, you was doing the same shit I was doing, so what's up? What's up? She like, what's up, ho? Wasn't you just walking around here with pigtails talking about anarchy this and anarchy that, spray painting shit on the damn wall? Like, what? Wasn't you just doing that? That was not you? You wasn't out there in them streets? That was you, babe. That was you. Sis was mad embarrassed. Mad embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed of your past, babe. Embrace it. Like Gigi said, it's a part of you. She said the difference between you and me is I don't deny who I am. I know who I am. And I love who I am. But you're a fraud. You a fraudulent ass, petty ass, ignorant ass bitch. Gigi ain't gonna tell you, but I tell you straight up. You a whack ass, wannabe businesswoman. All them damn numbers and letters after your name don't mean a goddamn thing. Nothing. It's trash. Basura. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody want to hear that shit. All this shit you've been talking, Gigi, and your ass is out here trying to be a wannabe motherfucking rebel kid, and you can't even rebel right, you petty asshole. What the fuck? Girl, if you don't go straight to hell, and I mean, with gasoline draws on, okay? I was hating, but she a fraudulent ass bitch. Anyways. Oh, she want to shit on Gigi. Nah. Oh, yes, honey. Pour paint on her and everything. Has sis all kinds of tore up. Okay, she poured paint all over mamas and everything. Hold on, let me see if I can find the picture. She got mad because she got beat. And she beat the girl down and then threw paint on her. I mean, just pour blue and orange paint all over her. That po lady. That po lady did not do nothing to her. Except whoop her ass. So she was quite mad about that. She still had that big ass 2002 bedazzled lunch bag she walking around with. You know what I thought of when I saw that bag the other day? I thought of those women that ride the bus. Jerry, you know what I'm talking about. The girls that ride the bus that work and they gotta put their sneakers on so they can put their work shoes in their bag. Mm-hmm. And they got their work shoes, they got their lunch, they got their work papers, their purse, all in that big ass bag. That's what she looked like. Walking around to the ring like she all polished and clean, looking a whole mess. Looking a whole mess. Girl. Kiana opened her IG and said archive. Well, I mean, she better do something. Not Kiana shitting on the alternative community. Don't be mad because you can't pull it off, period. She the hoe who tried to take out Gallus bar, right? It wasn't Gallus's bar. It was Fallon and them bar. It was Fallon's family bar. Trying to break up Brooks and Briggs and Jensen, yeah. Kiana better than me because I would have went to hell. She can't even get that one bag. The tote, right. I would have been like, I cleaned up just like your ring work need to, sweets. And I'd have been like, what you call cleaning up, I call hiding. And while you worried about my ring work, you need to be worried about that tight ass pussy you've been throwing around in this damn locker room for the last couple of months. That's what you need to be worried about. But since we talking about ring work, I mean, I was the longest reigning NXT. I was one of the longest reigning NXT tag team champions. I had the championship twice. You barely got the championship, ho. So why you worried about my ring work? You need to be more concerned about maintaining how you gonna move through these streets, because bitch, you can't even keep a championship, let alone a man with that tight ass coochie you got. So while you worried about my ring work, I'm still dominating. I'm still on TV. I'm still moving and shaking. You still trying to get to my spot, ho. Don't worry about my ring work, sweetheart. You worry about maintaining yourself in this tight ass feud you got. Because I'm going to bust your ass in here and send you back to the bowels of hell where you come. You tight ass, flat iron ass, big eared bitch. That's how you clear a hoe. If you want to go to hell, bitch, we can go. Just know I'm going to come back. You're going to stay. Okay? Okay? I'm going to come back. You're going to stay. Just know that. She said Fallon fucking whoa. I mean, did I lie though? I didn't lie. So y'all can get mad all you want to. I didn't lie. She was, but we all seen that JC is the better of the two. Whether you believe JC is a better wrestler than her, that's your personal business. I don't really care. We're talking about the two of them. We're talking about the feud between Kiana and Gigi Dolan. That's what we're talking about. Because the feud between JC and Gigi is over. Thank fucking gosh. Y'all know her as Gigi. I know her as Priscilla Kelly. And she was doing stuff Kiana would never do. With that 2000s business casual ring gear. She get on my nerves. I ain't never denied that the woman could wrestle. That was never my issue. She just irritates my soul. I don't fucking like her character. I don't like it. We ain't gonna shit on cousin Priscilla, okay? Tiff said, "Let's take a trip there." He started it. I didn't say nothing. I was just calling it like I sees it. I ain't even say nothing bad about her ass. I went by the story this time. I didn't even attack fuck ass Kiana. I did not attack her like I usually do. I was fair. I went by the story that was presented in front of me. But since he decided to go there, I was like, let me help Gigi out right quick. Because if it was me and she said what Rico said to me, I'd have been like, well, if we're going to go there and you want to talk about my ring work, I never had to try to break up a whole nother group of people just because I ain't had no storyline going on TV and I needed something cooking. So I started a whole motherfucking scene so I can get on TV. I ain't have to do that. Because you know why? Mandy came to me, bitch. She could have easily came to you. She chose me. I was a part of Toxic Attraction. I was on TV week after week. I was moving and shaking. You could barely get a damn tail match. Your ass was where? Level up? Don't play with me. Stop playing with me, ho. You and I are not the same. If my ring work is shitty, they damn sure keep me on TV wrestling with it. So I must be doing something right, bitch. I tear your ass up. You make me want to shoot fight. Like, bitch, what you want to do? Because we can fight for real. I guarantee you I will win. I guarantee you I will beat your ass. I guarantee you that. And all this DMD 754-321 and 8, all that shit'll be out the window, ho. It's just gonna be me and you. So you keep talking your bullshit. Cause Kiana the one who started it. All Kiana had to do was mind her motherfucking business. She the one who hopped in the conversation on Gigi talking about it's your past, it's where you come from that makes you a loser and makes you horrible and all this other kind of shit. And I'd have been like, pump your brakes, ho. Pump your brakes, Malibu list Barbie. Okay, pump your fucking brakes. Okay? Stop it. I meant that time Priscilla got put through a front door and a table in an intergender match. That was terrifying. Let us pray over because Sean loves him a run back. We're going to move on. Beautiful gowns, Rico. Y'all, I dead ass thought I saw a figure in my room and it was just my dismantled bookcase. Oh my God. Not ouchies. Serves your ass right. Looking at an extra room from a cheap ass corny lesbian. She said he looking like an extra from a cheap ass corny lesbian promo. Lord have mercy. The glasses do give porno. I can't. Like, put your hair up and square up. I you know what? Compliment sandwich. Kiana is an excellent wrestler. I will never not deny that. I will always give that woman props. She puts on excellent matches, but her character gets on my fucking nerves. I don't care what any of you say. I hate her character. I hate Tiffany Stratton's character, and I don't think Tiffany Stratton has any other. I don't think she has another way to be. I think Tiffany Stratton's gonna stay in that character for the rest of her career. She ain't gonna never be a face. I don't think it would fit her if we're being fair. She said Malibu is Park. That's the first thing that came to my head. I couldn't help it. She said, I screamed and Lemon looked at me like, shut the fuck up. Poor Lemon. Poor Lemon. Now, like I said, Andre Chase and Cole, they won their match. You got to give Thea a big shout out because of that. They won and they were able to get the pin. Now, this situation came about because West was backstage talking about Mustafa being his next opponent and how there's a different way he's going to have to prepare to go up against him. And this is where this fucking cuck of a bitch Dominic comes in and he's talking about so you're the guy who does you're the guy who does the open challenges. And West was like, yeah, I do open challenges, but I haven't done an open challenge in a while. And as soon as he got ready to talk, she goes, oh, here come Rhea. Oh, he's not a some fighting champion. You are. I was like, hold up, wait a minute. It's a 22.
Bitch, I know you not talking. I know your ass is not talking. I know Rhea Come Face Ripley is not up here talking about somebody else being a fighting champion when your ass ain't defending your championship and I don't know when. Girl, you better shut the fuck up and mind your business. I'd have been like, if I was West, I was like, you don't even go here. You don't even go here, bitch. How many times have I defended my championship in a year compared to the amount of times that you defended your championship in the last 5 months? Bitch, I can wrap every one of my championships around you 17 times before you can even get to your second championship defense. So before you start clocking championships and fighting champions, your ass might want to take a step back. You better keep holding Dominic's hand before I bring this little boy outside and show him what take his ass to the night water and show him what a real fight look like, because you've been protecting him like the little punk ass bitch that he is for the last 2 years. We have had to suffer through you making this man, this little boy, continue to be a little boy. You keep screwing his dick off and putting it in your purse, and you got the audacity to bring your ass to NXT and be talking about Wesley being a fighting champion. Girl, if you don't take your pale, pasty ass the fuck up out of here and go home before you burn in the sunlight, you trifling bitch, she pissed me off. Stupid ass. We stand Queen Limit, child. Fighting champ, child. Oh, he made me so mad. She made me so goddamn mad. Anyways, Wesley was like the only reason why y'all cut me off before I could finish. And he just was like, I haven't done an open challenge in a while. And that's mainly because things got really crazy around here the last time I did it. But I don't mind doing an open challenge. In fact, I welcome them. And he was like, if you want to do it, we can do it right now. Let's go. So he was like, hold on, like, relax. Let's do it next week. And then we'll worry about your little open challenge then. I'm like, hold up, dog. Hold up, playboy. Listen. Your last name might be Mysterio, but you haven't earned the respect or the right to be treated with as a Mysterio. So this is what I'm going to tell you. When you get some gold around your waist, then you can disrespect me. But until then, it's always going to be on site with me, with you. Because you don't know how to keep your mouth shut. You like to let this bitch that's standing next to you embolden you, and she is going to be the reason why you keep getting your ass handed to you. Now, I don't mind handing out an ass whooping or two. In fact, I welcome it. All right? Because what I'm tired of is seeing you run around here thinking you got the world in your hands because you got little protection right here. You keep hanging on to mommy's pubes every time you want to do something ignorant. You run and hide behind her. Okay? But this time, it's just me and you in the ring. She ain't going to be able to save you from whatever ass whooping I decide to deliver today. So if you want to fight next week, that's cool. We can fight next week. But what we not about to do is act like you doing me some motherfucking favor to wrestle me. You're in my house. So wipe your feet and shut your fucking mouth. Period. See, that's why they don't want me to work, Jared. They don't want me to work. They don't want me to work. Because I be done saying some fucked up shit. I be done saying some fucked up shit. I be like, who is you talking to? Who? Are you talking to me? Fighting champion? Rhea, honey. How many title defenses have you had? 2 of them were with the same person, so you can't count them as 2. Mm-hmm. Let's look up the stats. Zelina Vega, Backlash. That was May. Then you went up against Natalya, Night of Champions. And then you went up against Natalya again about 2 weeks ago. Oh. So in a span of about 5 months, you fought maybe 1, 2, 3. I'd say about 5, 6 times, with two of those matches being championship matches. I don't really equate Night of Champions as a championship match. I mean, it was a brutal beatdown for Natalia, and quite frankly, it was literally a minute long. So I wouldn't necessarily call that a title defense. In your defense, you did an excellent job at maintaining yourself as a champion. But Rhea, honey, when we talk about fighting champions, we don't mean that in the sense of covet the title and then walk around telling everybody you run Monday Night Raw. Oh, nay, nay, honey. Fighting implies that you actually step in the ring and fight, not constantly, helping your boys over here win their championships and win matches, maintaining Dominic Mysterio's streak on Monday Night Raw. It's important to you, but your belt isn't as important as that, right? Gotta keep that dick happy. Gotta keep that dick happy. And Dominic, honey, sweetheart, sweetie, love. If we're gonna talk about fighting, then you can't slap people and then run out of the ring, love. That's called being a little bitch. Yeah. And you really shouldn't come up to a champion and be disrespectful like that, especially when you want something from me. You see, I'm not obligated to give you anything. And you can call me all the cowards you want to call me and say that I am obviously trying to avoid you because I fear you, when that couldn't be even further from the truth, babe. The reality is you are not worth my time. I don't care what kind of record you have on Monday Night Raw. I've seen your matches and your match quality is ass. So why would I even put myself in the same ring with the likes of you? You are beneath me. In the words of the Little Rascals, you are the scum between my toes. Okay? So what I want you and your mommy to do is I want you to go get your bottle, put it in your mouth, and mommy, you can pick your little boy up and carry his ass on back to Monday Night Raw. I mean, that's where he's always the most protected, because here in NXT, this is my house and this is my rules, and you will either abide or you can get your ass out. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. I'm the champ. You're a guest in my house. So just show me some fucking respects. That's all. There's no middle ground here. It's either respect or get out. Simple. You see? You see how that works? Uh-huh. A lot of people would be getting their feelings hurt fucking with me. I'm sorry. I just couldn't. I wouldn't be able to take that. She defended again after Backlash. She's defended her title after Backlash, Night of Champions. She then defended again on Monday Night Raw. She's had 3 title defenses. So yeah. Now he's hurt his feelings when he look in the mirror. Oh, child, that's messed up. So questions. How much longer of this bullshit? Well, it seems like that is not going to end anytime soon. So it's gonna continue. Because what I'm about to say next is really gonna stick in your craw, so hold tight. Nah, for real, Tiff, me, Janae, and Nicole would never be allowed to talk because we go off script and legit hurt a bitch. I don't give a fuck. I'm really mad at how she's been booked because it's ridiculous. Child. Bianca and Shayna would never. It's gotta be the dick. That's the only way I can explain it. I think my idea of how Rhea defend against Emma at Money in the Bank would have been great. You talking about the Emma we saw Monday? You want to defend against that Emma? Okay, girl. So you show up to my house and try to put me down and fail. What's keeping me from showing up to yours and handing you an ass whooping? Child, I do not know. Well, good for them. So Noam Dar tweeted this. I thought I could gather my strength to show my face in front of the NXT universe on the Supernova sessions this Tuesday, but I simply cannot without my NXT Heritage Cup. I am lost without it. I'm not me right now. Therefore, SNS this Tuesday. Lash Legend said, "We support you, okay? Take all the time you need." Oro Mensah told him to stay strong. And Jakara said, "We gonna get our lick back." I don't know how y'all gonna get it back, but girl, keep hope alive. Keep hope alive, okay? He said, "I do not claim the Emma on Monday." Oh, okay. I was just asking. I wasn't even trying to be shady, honey. I was really legitimately asking. Like, are we talking about the Emma from Monday? Because if we are, that might not have been a good idea. We don't know who that was. We believe it was a body double, but that is not the Emma that we acknowledge. Oh, okay. It's a lot of we's in that sentence. Anywho, Ivy went up against Tiffany Stratton today. And for the most part, Ivy had Tiffany Stratton on her heels, but Tiffany was able to pick up the win and do her prettiest moonsault, or whatever the fuck she calls it. She be in the ring acting like a literal child, and I'm just not here for that. I do think she's a good wrestler, but I really don't like Tiffany Stratton. She just is not my cup of tea as a character. Wrestling wise, I do enjoy watching her matches. I am curious though, if she ever goes to the main roster and Charlotte is still there, that's a match that I really do want to see, because I feel like those two have similar fighting styles, similar wrestling styles, and she patterns herself after Charlotte Flair. So it'd be an interesting passing of the torch to Tiffany Stratton to see how she would fare against Charlotte. Charlotte is an athlete by trade, as is Tiffany Stratton. I mean, Tiffany's a gymnast by trade. So that would be a really cool athletic battle between those two women that I would really enjoy watching. Hoosies, after the match was over, the Schism decided to taunt Ivy now just a little bit. Ivy was in the back, and she definitely was feeling the missing of her brothers, Julius Creed and Brutus Creed. But if you guys paid attention to what we were watching in terms of the schism that was growing in the back, the two guys that lingered behind Ivy Nile were Julius and Brutus Creed. Because I could tell those two anywhere. I know Brutus's big ass meaty neck anywhere, and Julius is tall and he has a particular air about him. I know that those two schism members were Julius and Brutus. Now, I don't know how they're going to play this out, but it seems like when they're going to make it look like Julius and Brutus are gone, but they're going to get their asses back in NXT, and they're going to somehow start causing discord in the schism and make it so that once they get to the last couple of days before schism actually legitimately breaks apart, because they are going to break apart in terms of the dyad leaving, because they did say that they are going to leave. Hopefully Julius and Brutus are the ones that sends them packing on their way. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm dead set on the fact that the Creed brothers aren't necessarily gone just yet. Okay. He said, "Who is we?" We is not in my dictionary. That we is not you, Hiram. Well, I mean, only we I play is sports, and I'm not a digital tennis court right now. Y'all being extra shady. I wasn't even being shady. I was just asking him who it was. I said it was a lot of we's in the sentence. Y'all are being real shady. Like, what? Y'all ain't got to do Rico like that. Don't do him like that. Thank you on saying that the Creed brothers are disguising themselves as the Schism's followers, because I always pay attention to detail. We know, Kayla, and we love you for that. So this match was at the top of the hour. This match started at 8:42. They had their entrances around 8:42. And this was a solid match. It was pretty long. Ultimately, though, Ilya Dragunov ended up winning, but it was hard. It was a hard-hitting match. And honestly, it could have gone either way. They were pretty solid in this match. There weren't a lot of botches in here. If any botches, they were really solid, very good, good ring awareness, good movement, good pacing. It was nice to see Braun taking a few bumps and actually selling for Ilya, vice versa. Ilya sells for everybody and he almost oversells. When I think Braun hit him with a forearm, Ilya's ass fell back on his head and stayed there until he collapsed. That shit was odd as fuck, but baby, when I tell you he was tore up, honey, tore up. But ultimately, Dragunov was able to get the win, okay? Now, the last match of the night was between these four, okay? I mean, that might have been true, but it was shady. Like y'all, you and Hiram was really shady. Y'all could just chill out. Like relax. Rico said, I'ma just keep quiet, but I see and hear all. Okay, girl. Why are they on NXT? Well, what happened was a week prior, Finn went up against Carmelo on Monday Night Raw. Finn beat Carmelo, and then Rhea showed up that next Tuesday in NXT to issue a message to Carmelo to stay out of Judgment Day business. Carmelo then that following week issued a message to Judgment Day, or issued a challenge to them and said, "Bring your ass to NXT." To which Finn answered shortly after. And then this week they showed up on NXT. They had cut their promo about this. Like, Finn was like, NXT is the house I built. Same bullshit he been spewing for the last 10 years. Damian Priest said it. Rhea said it. They're all former NXT with the exception of Dom. What do they use? Tuesday. Anyway. Rico's stupid. What do they use? Tuesday. I want to see if I can find that video. I do have that video in my storage. I definitely do. That's one thing about the city girls. Them hoes is funny.
What did I use? Tuesday.
It's Tuesday, okay? Now, listen. They had a little back and forth, and the challenge was laid out, and it was accepted. So it was going to be Trick and Carmelo versus Judgment Day's Finn Balor and Damian Priest. For the most part, they had a pretty decent match between. I had it in the storage, honey. It had a pretty decent match between the four of them, but of course, Rhea and Dominic got involved. And that is when Ilya Dragunov grabbed the briefcase from Damian Priest because Rhea threw the briefcase into the ring. Damian was trying to use it against Carmelo. Ilya took the briefcase away from him, and basically Carmelo was coming to attack Damian and ended up hitting Ilya, and the briefcase hit Carmelo. This is how he was able to get the drop on Carmelo, and they was able to hit him with a choke slam. He tagged in Finn, who again hit that coup de grace and was able to get the pin. This is what made me so mad, because I could understand it better if, like, Carmelo, like, Trick was the one who got pinned. Carmelo got knocked out and Trick got pinned. But Carmelo has been getting pinned by Finn Balor for the last couple of weeks. Like, he got pinned on Monday Night Raw, and then now he's getting pinned again on NXT. Now, don't get me wrong. The setup for them to have Ilya Dragunov and him be at each other's throats works for me. I'm not mad about that at all. In fact, I think that that's a good idea. But I just think to have your champion on your show being pinned by another former champion from the main roster doesn't look good. Okay, I don't care what you say. I don't care how you slice it. Carmelo should have won. If he wasn't gonna win, he should not have eaten the pin. It should have been Trick. Trick should have been the one to eat the pin. Like, you just don't do that. And I know they're trying to build the story. I get it. I'm not shitting on building the story. I'm fine with that. But it's like, god damn, you giving Judgment Day wins, and some of these wins don't even make sense to me. It doesn't make any sense at all. And it's just like, wow. This is what you do. If this was Brian Breaker, they would have won. I guarantee you that shit. It's cool though. I'm just procrastinating my writing right now. I can't. So all four of them are bitches, pretty much. What they can't do on the main, what they can't do anything on the main roster, so they send them to NXT. They were dominating on Monday Night Raw. Like, look, Monday night, because you probably haven't watched it, Alexis, so let me just explain. Monday Night Raw, they opened the show, they closed the show. They had a match that was scheduled for the middle of the show. It ended up turning to a 6-man tag team, to which Kevin, Sammy, and Seth were fighting against Priest, Balor, and Mysterio. So it was a 6-man tag team. And that they had that on Monday Night Raw. That was the main event match. They also opened the fucking show because Finn was out there bitching, and Rhea Ripley made him go in the back because she didn't want them to discuss Judgment Day business. She also had a segment in a crossing with Raquel Rodriguez, and they were very prominently interwoven throughout the show on Monday Night Raw. So it wasn't like they weren't being used and they needed to push them to NXT Tuesday. But what they're doing is to help boost the ratings, is to use the popular people in the main roster to boost the ratings for NXT. Okay, it worked really, really well with Seth freaking Rollins going over there. And if I were them at some point, I would finally dead this shit with motherfucking Trish and Becky and let Becky go to NXT once or twice for the week and see how things work out with that. But like, for you to be having Finn and them go to NXT to dominate over your champion, who's supposed to be the guy leading your show into the new NXT, that's not fair to me. I'm sorry, but you don't have to do that. And that doesn't prove any dominance in NXT whatsoever. Judgment Day doesn't need that. They don't need that. And I just was like, that's not right. That's not right. Girl, I've been preaching this for how long now? I mean, you can keep preaching it, but they're not going to do it. They're popular. Whether you like it or not, they're popular. Their merchandise sales they're not in the dumps. I can tell you that. They're one of the top merch sellers, and they're popular heel faction on the show. Like, they're right underneath the bloodline, obviously, due to the fact that it's them, Viking Raiders, Bloodline, Metaphor on NXT, Imperium. And if we're being fair, Judgment Day is the one pushed out over Imperium. So Judgment Day is the top heel faction on Monday Night Raw. Imperium is right under that. And then you have Bloodline on SmackDown. And then there's no other faction besides LWO on SmackDown. So you might think they're a dying horse. That's your hill you're going to die on. That's fine. I have no issues with that, but they're not. They're actually moving and they're continuing to push. I guarantee you that at some point they're all going to have the belts. I guarantee you. I guarantee you at some point they're all going to have championships. Whether it be tag team championships and the other one gets to be a champion, I guarantee you at some point all of them is going to be champion. I guarantee you. All I see is Frankenstein with the suitcase, a whiny bitch, a Hot Topic salesperson, and a bitch with a mullet. WWE sees dollar signs, so depends on how you're looking and what glasses you use, because that's how they're being booked. And Dominic was booked the best out of all of them. Dominic didn't lose a match until this past Money in the Bank to Cody Rhodes. That was the first time he lost a match in a very long goddamn time. A long time. Just about every match he had since Mania, he has won. He hasn't lost not one match except for this match with Cody at Money in the Bank. So, anyways, that's how the show went off. And I know that this is going to lead to Carmelo Hayes calling out Ilya Dragunov, basically accusing him of costing him his match against Judgment Day. And of course, Judgment Day are going to be using that as fuel because Dominic Mysterio is going to be back next week because he's going up against Wes Lee for the North American Championship. Now, while things are always subject to change, it's possible for Dominic to take that title off of Wes Lee. I would not want to pay to watch a match between Dominic Mysterio and Mustafa Ali. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Mustafa Ali, and I would rather Mustafa get the championship from somebody like Dom than to take it off of Wes, but the match quality wouldn't be worth it in the end. And quite frankly, Wesley's gonna give you everything he got in that match against Mustafa, and that match is gonna knock. It's gonna be one of the best matches of the night at Great American Bash. Whereas Dominic isn't gonna give you, but he's not gonna give you much, if anything. So I hope that Shawn Michaels is smarter than this and doesn't give Dominic that fucking title next week. Or Dom versus Ilya. No, he's going up against Wes. I when we said we wanted Dominic to go to NXT, it wasn't like this at all. In fact, I wanted Dom to go to NXT and level grind in NXT, but he didn't. And whatever. I get that Dom is a heat magnet, but when is there the other shoe gonna drop and people get sick of it? Clearly they're not, babe. No, I mean no one will pay to see Ilya versus Dom. Okay. Well, no. Like they're not gonna have good chemistry in the ring anyway. Dominic doesn't have the tenacity or the intensity to go up against Ilya. Ilya would eat him alive. I know that they would make that match look even, but just Ilya's intensity in that match alone would outwork Dominic by itself. That'd be a dangerous exposure of Dominic Mysterio to put him in a match with Ilya Dragunov. It just wouldn't be right. So more than likely next week, Rhea's punk ass is gonna be down to NXT again, as will Dominic Mysterio for his title match. So I don't know what they're gonna do, but I know that this is gonna lead to a lot of backbiting and fighting between Ilya and Carmelo. And of course, Finn and Damian Priest are probably skipping their asses through a meadow, frolicking and shit, because they're best friends again. People, let me tell you about my best friend. Like they get on my damn nerves. I really want JD McDonough to come back and start causing a little bit of bullshit in there because I feel like he's gonna be an agent of chaos for the for Judgment Day. I really do. Because Finn is on the edge and he's really on the verge of snapping, but he's holding himself back. And every time something else happened, it just chip away and chip away and chip away and chip away. So yeah. I'm just waiting for the time when they start cutting people down. You know what I'm saying? I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for JD McDonough to come in and just cause some massive chaos. You feel me? So tomorrow is the break. Tomorrow is Wednesday. We're going to be doing Freestyle Wednesday tomorrow. And I don't know, we might do lifestyle chat tomorrow and do SBC stuff and HBCU confessions and all that good stuff. So we'll have to wait and see. But this coming Friday on SmackDown, we're going to get Bianca versus Asuka for the WWE Women's Championship. And I know Charlotte Flair is going to be looming around there somewhere trying to get her lit back. I know she's going to cost Bianca this title match. Okay? I know she's going to cost that girl that title match. So It's going to be an interesting thing to watch. I know that the girls is going to be fighting. I also know that this probably is going to end up leading to a triple threat match at SummerSlam for Bianca and Charlotte and Asuka. Quite frankly, I think in that triple threat match, Asuka is going to eat the pin and Charlotte is going to be champion once again. But this match is already scheduled for SmackDown. It's one of the lead out matches, and I'm hoping that this is the main event for SmackDown, since the girls only got like 2 seconds last Friday. Yes, freestyle. Do I have permission to discuss this book on live tomorrow and get some feedback from the president's subjects? Sure. I gotta finish reading the last 2 chapters. So after I finish recording Pop Culture Wednesday tonight, I might read chapter 3 and chapter 4. So I'll be prepared. But Freestyle Wednesday tomorrow is gonna go real easy. We're gonna talk about Impact and talk about the new matches added to the Slammiversary card, and then we're gonna go right into lifestyle stuff. Now there was some stuff that happened backstage on Monday Night Raw that a lot of people were talking about. There was a bit of I guess you could say it was a little bit of animosity between Judgment Day and KO, Sammy, and Seth. And that was because of the way that the match went. Sammy is a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to his matches, especially when they're supposed to go a certain way. There were certain spots in the match that didn't go right or were not done correctly. So this led to a bit of an argument backstage between the two groups of men. However, it seems like everything worked out between the 6 guys, and they seem to have had a moment where it was just a heated conversation, and that ended up dying down, and they were able to work through their issue and move forward from there. So just in case you heard something or you saw something in Reddit, from my understanding of the situation, it's been squashed. They have decided to let bygones be bygones, and it was just a bad night, and they moved on from there. But if we're being fair, and you guys go back and watch the clips that WWE has posted on YouTube and on Twitter, the whole show had botches in it for every single match. Go look at Emma and Shayna's match in the beginning. The spot with Ricochet and Logan Paul, that was botched because it was almost like they didn't know which one of them was going to grab the other. When you go and look at the spot with Valhalla and Maxine. Valhalla hesitated before she hit Maxine in the back, and it was supposed to be immediate, and she was almost like she didn't know what to do. What else? The match between Becky and Zoe. That match was hella botchy. It was botchy on Zoe's part, and it was botchy on Becky's part. Like there was a lot of botches and, like, I guess you can call them little glitches, hiccups throughout the show. But the reality is that whole show was like that, and I can understand people being frustrated. But the whole show was like that. Even the match between Katana and Kaden and Sonya and Chelsea had botches in it. There was a few hiccups and double steps in the match. It was almost like people were trying to figure out what they were supposed to do, where they were supposed to go. It was very, very, very botchy. But like I said, that was the similar vein throughout the whole show. Think about what I'm saying and really go back and look at it, and you'll see it for yourself. So the boys seem to have handled everything in terms of their grievances with each other, and they have since moved on from it. So everybody just let it go and don't blow it up into a big old to-do thing. Okay. Did you get my email for the podcast? I haven't checked my podcast email since earlier this morning, but I will check it in tonight before I go to bed and after I finish Pop Culture Wednesday, because tonight I'm going to record the Am I the Asshole stuff. So yeah, I'll check it in a second. Karen Crew versus Disco Ninja Dance Party. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there had been rewrites before they aired. I don't think that was it, Rico. I'm honestly just focusing on the matches. It was the matches. I don't think that the rewrite of the show would have affected the match quality in this particular case, because some of those matches were planned prior to any rewrite. So the Logan Paul stint, that wasn't rewritten. That went on as planned. Shayna Baszler and Emma's match was not announced, so we didn't know if it was going to happen or not. But even still, we've had rewrites of a show, and that show has gone off, and the match quality has been great. There was no hiccups. So, like I said, I just think it was just a bad night. Like, I don't think there was anything else, no other way to describe it other than it was just a bad night. You know what I'm saying? So tomorrow's gonna be Freestyle Wednesday. We're gonna talk about Rico's book. So some of you guys who are gonna be coming in tomorrow, if you want to talk wrestling, we're gonna be talking exclusively about Impact Slammiversary tomorrow, and then we're gonna be moving on from there and just talking about lifestyle stuff. Maybe getting a few questions from everybody in the comment section and just talking and chilling and having a good time. Then I'll invite Rico in, and we're gonna talk about his book, and y'all can hopefully when Rico gets it all together and he actually publishes this book, which he can self-publish it, by the way, and he publishes this book, you guys can read it for yourself, but it's a really good book. It's a good book. Okay. And I'll let him explain everything tomorrow, so we will have a nice little kiki about it. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow on Freestyle Wednesday. I believe I will start Freestyle Wednesday at 8 o'clock. If I don't start at 8, it'll probably be at 9. But make sure you guys just check back here and keep your notifications up. I'll have the live scheduled to go off at 8:30 just to be sure. But, love you guys to pieces. I'll see you tomorrow.